waters. Tlhabisa says the scholar transport should not have found itself stuck on the bridge.
The team that I was going with, we went to the bridge where the minibus ferrying school children was washed away. It is very unfortunate. That incident should not have happened, because clearly, if you see the levels of water, the incident should not have happened.
The EFF has written a letter to President Cyril Ramaphosa calling for the establishment of a commission of inquiry into the current state of the NPA. This is in response to remarks by National Director of Public Prosecutions, Shamila Batoy, who alleged the NPA has been infiltrated by corrupt prosecutors. Although Batoy later clarified she did not intend to use the term infiltrated, the Red Berets maintain any suggestion of corruption within the NPA warrants a thorough probe. Alpha Ramashwana reports.
President Cyril Ramaphosa told reporters earlier this week that he plans to meet with NPA boss Shamila Batoy following allegations that the NPA has been infiltrated by individuals who disregard the rule of law. However, the EFF says Ramaphosa's planned intervention is not enough, arguing that a comprehensive investigation into the independence of the NPA is necessary. In a letter addressed to the president, the EFF states that Batoy's acknowledgement of infiltration amounts to an admission that the NPA is experiencing a systematic failure. The party points to internal dysfunction and the mishandling of several high-profile cases as evidence that the NPA is being brought to its knees. The EFF proposes the establishment of a commission of inquiry chaired by former Chief Justice Mogoeng. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
And U.S. President Donald Trump plans to inform trading partners of unilateral U.S. tariff rates in the coming weeks as the July deadline approaches for steeper levies to kick in on dozens of economies. In April, Trump imposed a blanket 10% tariff on most American trading partners and unveiled higher individual rates on several countries, although he swiftly paused the elevated rates. While negotiations have been ongoing, the pause on those higher duties is due to expire on the 9th of next month. So far, Washington has only announced a trade deal with the UK alongside a temporary tariff de-escalation with China. A fine Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow, Joburg dropping to an overnight low of 5 degrees, peaking at 18. Pretoria 5 and 19, for Inageng 2 also reaching a high of 18 degrees. Lerato Hufela, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Percy Tau is my guest. You've got 3 Champions League stars. And you as an individual have got more stars than any collective club in South Africa in the Champions League. I mean, that puts you at a level that I don't even think you've been able to digest.
I'm proud of my journey. And I still feel like there's more to my journey. I love football. And then I'm so obsessed, I think.
All the best, Lion of Judah. Choose wise, my brother. I wish you all the best. But I think Kaizer Chiefs need you the most.
Rob, maybe a bit of a controversial question to Tau. Did he feel that the players that he played with at Brighton, they were in support of him being in the team, particularly a player called Trossard, the one that's currently playing for Arsenal? I'm asking this question because on a consistent basis, week in and week out, I watch Brighton and I felt that Trossard was very selfish, and in some instances he would not really share a ball with Tau.
You haven't gone to the Bernabeu as a tourist to take photos of the stadium and the museum. You played there. Not too many South Africans can lay claim to that. Would that be in your top 5 greatest achievements that you can attribute to you?
Yes. Because the Champions League is something that I've always watched. But it's also great sometimes to go test yourself against Vini Jr. I think it was his early days at the Real Madrid. And then how Modric and all this. Now you are really playing against them and you really test yourself. So we as a club also, we're excited to say, okay, Bruges against Real Madrid in Bernabeu. Let's see how it's going to go.
It's Tau getting involved for the first time.
The R word called retirement has not entered your mind in any way?
No.
too soon?
No, it's very soon.
At times, people do that, unfortunately, in this country.
Yeah, I mean, if they were to force me, then I've got no control over that.
How do they force you, though?
Not signing you. I mean, that would be the only reason. But I always believe in the talent that God has blessed me with.
Robert Marawa, live on 947.
Let's go.
Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Yeah, when people talk about heat and how it's heating up at Lord's, it's exactly that. A quick wrap up in terms of what's happened, though, and you missed it. Pat Cummins having claimed that extraordinary 6 wickets off 28 balls to spearhead South Africa's implosion on 138 all out shortly after lunch on the second day of the World Test Championship final at Lord's today. Before South Africa head back yet again with 2 wickets to leave the defending champions on 32-4-2 at tea and a lead of 106 runs. Now, there was a remarkable middle session which saw 7 wickets fall for the addition of just 49 runs as South Africa lost 5 for 17 before Kagiso Rabada took 2 wickets off 15 balls, removing Usman Khawaja for 6 and also Cameron Green for a duck. Within just 3 balls and both caught in the cordon. Now, Marnus Labuschagne was in 16 as well as Steve Smith will resume after tea. I suppose because, Big England, it is Labuschagne. So Australia right now, if I'm having a look at the live feed, 78 for 7. That's where it stands right now. So a massive turnaround there for South Africa. We'll keep you up to date with everything. Welcome to Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
Let's give you some breaking news. Now, Wimbledon has increased its prize money for this year's championship to £53.5 million, which is 1.2 billion rands. Now, a 7% increase on the 2024, as well as doubling what they offered a decade ago. So the singles champions will receive £3 million, meaning 72.5 million rands each. That's the highest across all Grand Slams, and also a 11.1% increase on the prize money that Carlos Alcaraz as well as Barbara Kichkova took home last year. Now, the All England Lawn Tennis Club chair, Deborah Evans, has more on that.
On the subject of investment, I will now turn to the prize money fund for the championships, which this year is £53.5 million. And this represents a 7% increase on the prize money fund in 2024 and is double what we awarded 10 years ago in 2015. This year's round-by-round breakdown shows our focus on both the early and the late rounds of the draw, rewarding the successes of our champions, but also continuing to support the lower-ranked players. The 2025 singles champions will each receive £3 million, and this represents an 11.1% increase on 2024. First round singles prize money is set at £66,000, and that is a 10% increase. We are absolutely committed to continuing our long-standing record and investment into player compensation. Over the last decade, the singles champions prize money has increased by some 60%, and first round singles prize money by 128%.
All right, that is massive. Now, in April, 20 leading players sent a letter now to the heads of the 4 Grand Slam events calling for greater prize contributions. And also discussions were held at a meeting during the French Open. So those discussions with players about resolving a lawsuit against tennis authorities. She's got more to say on this.
We have listened to the players. We have engaged with the players. Sally had a meeting in Paris, as did I, with a number of them. And what I think is important as well is, of course, we will always listen, discuss with them. The focus on just the prize money at 4 events, i.e. the Grand Slams, does not get to the heart of what the challenge is with tennis. The challenge with tennis is the fact that the players don't have an off-season which they want. They have increasing injuries that they're speaking about. And we've always said that we as Wimbledon are willing to engage and talk with the tours to try and find solutions, and that door remains open. But as yet, there hasn't been any proposal to us as to how the tour is able to change its structure. So whilst we will talk to players, of course, about compensation, there is a much bigger challenge, if I may, out there when we look at the circuit overall.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Is Tao getting involved for the first time?
Is there going to be an earth-shaking move on the horizon for Percy Tau? You go from Royal and, you move, but you play UEFA Champions League, you play Europa League, and. What have been the most defining moments for you in this journey as the bigger stage just kept on opening bigger and wider for you?
At Royal St. Gila.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a life of hope, hoping that one day I'll get to the EPL. And then the first step to Europe, which was something that I wanted. And that was my home for that year. And it all set it up for me for the next few years. It's either Bruges or Anderlecht, even with Brighton. But the first year was very important for me. And then it shaped the whole thing for me.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
All right, so we'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening at Lords as well. The Proteas are seeming to have a firm grip on it, and what a comeback it's been for them. Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we don't just have greatness in studio, we bring you a legend. I mean, a name that echoes through basketball history, a name that everybody knows. I call it a game changer. I mean, a gravity defier, a clutch master. I mean, whose heart and hustle turned him from star to icon, 7-time NBA All-Star. I don't know. Maybe you didn't hear me. I'm saying 7-time NBA All-Star, 2-time scoring champion, Hall of Famer, and one of the most electrifying talents to ever touch the hardwood. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make a bit of noise. Hey, he's here. Yeah, yes. The legend is here. T-Mac in the house. Tracy McGrady, good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Man, it's a pleasure. How you doing, brother?
I'm very good.
Yeah.
A great honor, firstly.
Same.
I hear you've been touring around, having a great time. South Africa, first time this side?
First time in South Africa. Yeah. Been loving it so far. I got in yesterday and made a little bit of rounds today. Yeah. I'll be here through Sunday, so I'm looking forward to, what's to come while I'm here.
What's been the highlight so far? I know it's been a short period of time you've been in the country, but what's really stood out and you thought, maybe that's a bit different to what I perceived this country to have been about?
I see a lot of happiness, right? I see a lot of happiness. I was in Zambia for 4 days. Went to Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and I was just riding around, man, and it just brought me back to my childhood of happiness. Yeah. Didn't matter what I had, what was going on in the world. I saw the kids outside playing, and I instantly just went back to that happy place of nothing really mattered, just being outside playing with my friends.
Grateful to be alive type of moment, because
sure.
I think given everything that's happening around the world, and I think it's also very crazy times when you come to the African continent and you see that, what sort of testament does it say to you about, maybe the resolve of African people given some of the things that happen?
Such resilience.
Yeah.
Such resilience. I learned that through one of my teammates, Dikembe Mutombo.
Wow.
I played with him for 6 years in Houston. And we had many of, plane rides and bus rides of having these conversations. And I used to ask because this was before I ever even stepped foot on the motherland. Yeah. And I was living vicariously through him and having these conversations like, what is it like over there? How did you grow up? Like, I wanted to know. I was, wanted this information from him. And, he was telling me the good and he was telling me the bad. And he was like, we can have these conversations all day, but you got to go see it for yourself. And I took him up on that, and I went to Darfur region. I went to the Darfur region, and it was life-changing. I felt so compelled to come back and really tell my story of what I saw. So the resilience, man, of what I see over here is, nothing short of spectacular and amazing from, for people.
I mean, you talk about a great name. You talk about, the famous finger. Yeah. A great friend of the show as well, somebody who's made a big difference to so many underprivileged, both in South Africa and the African continent at large. And obviously we sadly lost him. Mm-hmm. Just his passing, the memorials, the involvement of all around the world. Did that magnify that, here's an African child who really touched the world, glowing tributes from heads of states in America and elsewhere?
just his upbringing, the way he was raised by great parents. He was one of a kind, man. And Deke was one of those people that, you rarely come across. And when you come across a special person like that, you want to do more listening than anything. And he was that type of dude. Like, I couldn't believe, like, this dude used to speak so many languages around me. Like, I've heard Deke speak like 7 different languages, right? And he's the only person I've ever met in life that speaks that. So just his wisdom, his grace, just pure-hearted dude. And, he had an impact on the world, not just, in the NBA, on the world, he had that impact.
When you look back and you look at the impact you've made, when we made the announcement that you're coming onto the show, just the level of excitement, not only just in the building, but from South Africans at large. They know your name, they know your history, they know what you're about, they know what you stand for. They know that at any given moment in your career, you could drop a 40, just like that. Done deal. And that is why you belong in the Hall of Fame, deservedly. What's that ultimate reflection on your achievements that you look back and say, was that me?
Can I have a humble moment real quick?
Please do.
I didn't know South Africans knew me.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I was in the mall yesterday.
And?
So I just finished eating dinner.
Tell me that moment.
I was in the mall. I was doing a little shopping because I underestimated how long I was going to be on my vacation. So I needed to get some extra clothes. So I'm standing there, I'm doing some shopping. I see a dude just walk up to me where I'm at the register to the right, and he's just staring at me. I was like, "What's up, bro?" He said, "T-Mac?" I was like, yeah, it's me. So I was shocked that, to be able to walk around the mall here and someone recognized me. So that impact, playing 15 years in the NBA, basketball has taken me all around the world, all around the globe. And, I don't poo-poo that aside of, what it means to a lot of people, because I've heard stories where I've changed lives.
Yeah.
And that to me is so fulfilling as an individual, because we play the game for people to be inspired.
Yeah.
And if I can inspire one or two, which I'm sure I've inspired many, but it's just such a wonderful feeling.
That's very humble of you. I mean, an 18-year-old who started his career, that's a long time in basketball. I mean, we won't talk about injuries in the later stages of your life, because I think it happens to any top athlete in the world. But when you get that humbling moment like you had at the mall today, does it give you a different perspective? Sometimes people say, basketball is only maybe in the Asian countries, it's very popular. Obviously, to the Americas, it's very popular. But hardly ever, basketball on the African continent. And that is why you got the success now of what you're going to be going to watch, which is the BAL. And BAL has grown tremendously and put out so many superstars that have either made their mark in the NBA, come back, or on their way to the NBA now. Just give me that juxtapositioning of where you see Africa and where it can contribute to the greater growth of basketball.
Yeah, so and that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I've learned so much of the game of basketball that I want to get that knowledge back. I've been traveling to China for over 20-something years. I've seen the evolution of basketball in China. My first time going was 1998.
Yeah.
Right? And walking around, being on the ground, many didn't know about basketball. But you see where it's at today. I mean, we got, 500 million people in China playing basketball. Coming here to Africa, I see the same thing. Even more talent here, right? I was just telling them on our way, I was like, it's so many. I see so many tall kids here in Africa, man, that we could turn it, it's so many gyms walking around here built off how they are built for basketball, their body structure, the length, the agility, right? It's mind-boggling. And I got to be on the ground over here to give back, to improve the knowledge, the game, the mental, and teach that the best way I can. I enjoy doing that. I do it back home. So to see where, our game is a global game. To see what's in our game, we got, Africans that are all-stars, MVPs. Like, it's growing, bro, and it's going to continue to grow. So I see that. I see the great opportunities to come over here and have an impact on, helping the game. And for my first, trip, it's such an honor to be here and establish some of the relationships that we've been building. I'm looking forward to what's to come, because I think there's going to be even more Africans that are going to be MVPs in our league one day.
When you talk about the tall kids and the big boys that you've seen here, does it take you back to 2004? Wyoming, you were there at the Rockets, making a great partnership. I think he's also that 7-footer that really grew the game. It made kids also dream that it's possible. You don't have to be American to succeed.
No, our game is so international now, so global, that if you look over the last, 5-6 years, it's been international MVPs, not American MVPs, right? So the game is changing. These guys are becoming more, not just talented, but more students in the, basketball acumen. Like, they really understanding the game of basketball. And I think Africans have an advantage because of their discipline. Is what we don't, as Americans, we don't have from that foundation. We don't have that discipline, right? We don't have the teaching that we need. So we rely so much on our athleticism, right? We forget the real foundation. But when you look at African basketball players, they rely on the foundation. They have athleticism, but they have the foundation of being, solid basketball. You can put them anywhere on a team, and they're going to stand out and they're going to play well. You could plug and play with them because they have that foundation that was built when they was younger.
It almost reminds me of what you've said about Giannis as well, just saying that he's one of very few that has that old school mentality, because you can't be friends on the court. It hardly ever happened. Back in your day, you had to be sworn enemies on that court. And the fact that we don't see that is a result of what? I don't know. We'll find out, though. T-Mac in the house.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time.
#MSW.
Shop Early Bird Father's Day deals online now. Get 30% off men's sleepwear and fleece, plus 20% off selected fragrances. Whether you're spending a cozy day in or a dinner night out, Woolworths has everything you need to make this Father's Day extra special. Shop online or in our app. T's and C's apply. Woolworths, the difference.
The butterfly effect is crazy. Because if you've never tuned into the radio at this exact time, on this exact day, at this exact volume, at this exact point in your car journey, and listen to this exact ad, you would have no idea that you could get the Renault Quid for 1,999 per month. 1,999. We know, right? Crazy.
Get the stylish, SUV-inspired Renault Quid for only 1,999 per month. Offer exclusive to Renault Financial Services. T's and C's apply.
Aquele.
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 Aquela.
Aquele.
Aquili.
Aquele.
No matter how you say it, one thing's for sure. Aquele is South Africa's most loved water brand, refreshing you with pure natural spring water and delicious flavored sparkling drinks. From every sip to every smile, thank you Mzansi for making Aquele a part of your everyday moments. Aquele, spreading joy to South Africa naturally.
This June, good South Africans are not wasting their paycheck. They're getting an affordable budget insurance quote, plus up to 10% off car insurance, plus they can add scratch and dent cover for 10 Rand a month. Why is a 10 Rand called a tiger? Who cares? As long as you're saving hundreds. Go to budgetinsurance.co.za. Hurry! It's for June only. Budget is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent and reviewed annually. T's and C's online.
Mid-year mega deals have dropped at Leroy Merlin, and we're giving you up to 50% off. Get the standard 70-kilogram foldable hand truck for only $1,099, down from $1,399, and the Alva 1.2 kilowatt single-panel outdoor heater now $689 from $739. Shop our 50% off mid-year mega deals in-store and online from 30 May to 29 June. Leroy Merlin. Make your home the best place to live. T's and C's apply.
Lotto Star does scratch card games like no one else. In seconds, you could win payouts of up to 75 million rand. With just a scratch of a card, you could boost your bank balance, win a gold bar, or shine bright on Diamond Rush. Scratch now on lottostar.co.za. Your world of live games. Lottostar is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Is Tao getting involved for the first time?
Is there going to be an earth-shaking move on the horizon for Percy Tau? You go from Royal and, you move, but you play UEFA Champions League, you play Europa League, and. What have been the most defining moments for you in this journey as the bigger stage just kept on opening bigger and wider for you?
At Royal St. Gila.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a life of hope, hoping that one day I'll get to the EPL. And then the first step to Europe, which was something that I wanted. And that was my home for that year. And it all set it up for me for the next few years. It's either Bruges or Anderlecht, even with Brighton. But the first year was very important for me. And then it shaped the whole thing for me.
#MSW. #MSW.
Good evening, Mr. Rob. It's Hulufelang here, and good evening to the MSW shoulders, and good evening to Mr. T-Mac, the Hall of Famer Tracy McGrady. When I heard that T-Mac was going to be in South Africa for the BAL, I was excited. I was really excited because you don't get a lot of Hall of Famers making their way to watch African basketball. It's so rare. And to have someone like him, that was crazy enough. But to hear that you have him in studio is even more insane, Mr. Rob. Wow, what a legend. What an underrated shooting guard in my view, because looking at his old clips, looking at where he has excelled in as far as basketball is concerned, looking at the teams that he played for, truly underrated. I don't think he's that much of a celebrated shooting guard, truly speaking. He has been immense, explosive, and deadly with that ball, especially on the offense. I just have a few questions for T-Mac. Question number one, in all the teams that you played for, be it Toronto, be it Orlando Magic, be it the Houston Rockets, be it the New York Knicks, and even your last team in San Antonio Spurs, which you spent a season with in 2013, which team did he feel that, I think this team was where I was at my absolute peak. This was where the very best of Tracy McGrady came out, and this is where the world took notice of Tracy McGrady. Out of all those teams, which team did he feel he played in his absolute peak? That's number one. And number two, does he look back at his career and feel that if I won a finals MVP or an MVP, or better yet, an NBA championship with all of these big teams, then his legacy could have been solidified as truly one of the greatest that we've ever seen? Again, very excited, very happy that T-Mac is there, and I just want to find all of those questions out from the Hall of Famer himself. Great show as always. Thanks.
Well, thank you so much indeed. His neck almost snapped. I mean, you're like, no. Which one are you saying no to?
What's his name? What's the guy's name?
Hulufelang.
What is it?
Hulufelang.
Hulufelang?
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to him. That was actually I appreciate the love. It's good question too. So my career, I mean, if you look at it, it's really in stages of, just life, really. The evolution of a kid going through life, from high school, all right, and then we get to Toronto, drafted, and we're at the beginning stage of trying to learn how to play NBA basketball. So we got to learn terminology. We got to learn speed. Like, it's the learning, process for those first 2 years. My third year is when I started to break out and feel comfortable and feel like I belong. That was Toronto stages. Then we move on to another phase of my life and my career when I signed with Orlando. Now it's like, okay, you're supposed to be going to Orlando with, Grant Hill. And at that time, I can honestly say Grant Hill was a better basketball player than me. I can humbly say that. But that didn't happen because of his injury. So it's like, okay, here's the keys to you, young fella, 20 years old. You got to lead this franchise. So now I'm coming into stardom, right, as a basketball player. Infant stages are behind me. I've learned the game. I'm confident. I feel like I belong. I'm into stardom now. And I got to carry this franchise at a young age, which was a lot of pressure, but I felt like I was built for it. So we played 4 years there, had 4 amazing years, make 4 All-Stars there, all NBA every single year. Just unfortunately didn't have any team success because, like I said, Grant Hill was out. Now we move into another phase in my career of playing with, this ginormous, talent and, guy that's bigger than what he's carrying in Asia, talking about Yao Ming, the pressures that he has to carry. And now I'm dealing with injuries because I'm going into my 8th year, right? And I'm not as explosive as I once was. So now I got to use this instead of my athleticism. And that's why I tell kids, you got to have this. You got to know, you got to have knowledge of the game. The mental part is more important than the physical part. Right? So I'm playing and relying more on my mental than I am my physical attributes because I'm sustaining injuries and I'm not as explosive as I once was when I was in Orlando uniform. So I think I was more technical basketball player at this point and beating you with my mind. Now, we ain't going to talk about what was after that because
you remember
because that was the T-Mac phases. Now, when I had injuries and had a knee surgery that completely wiped me out from being who I was as a basketball player, changed me into Tracy. So, I don't even like to talk about those other, teams that I played for after my prime.
Yeah.
It's a great conversation to have because when you do lose that athleticism, when you do lose that cachet of being the best player, and then a lot of other stuff within the game of basketball and the politics and the business of it comes into play. Mentally, if you can't handle that, you're going to be out of the league. But I think for myself, it was more of because I was dealing with the injury and the surgery that I had to prove to myself I could come back and make an NBA franchise, make an NBA team again after that injury. So that's why it was so important for me to play for Atlanta, play for Detroit. But the Spurs was a whole nother conversation. That was just coming out of church one day. I just finished playing in China. I played in the Chinese basketball league. I'm home for 2 months. I'm chilling. And I get out of church, and I got a voicemail from Coach Pop. I get a voicemail from Coach Pop, and he says, I need you. What you going to do? Like, I said, Pop, bro, I've been sitting on this couch for 2 months. I haven't worked out. I haven't did anything.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We'll get you in shape. I need your body because we need body. We got guys down. All right, no hesitation. I go to San Antonio and went along for the ride. And it was, competing against him because I am in Texas as well and competing against Pop, being in the Western Conference every year. I saw, vividly why they were a championship organization for, Tim Duncan's entire career and Pop's stint at San Antonio as the head coach and how he was putting that team together and how he coached that team. I saw it with my own eyes, and I'm glad I got a chance to experience that because that was the only time in my career where I ever went on a run like that with a team and saw, how technical and how intense and strategic it is playing at that level. It was a great experience. But
would you say humbling in a way? I guess it is because you talk about the T-Mac.
Yes.
In terms of elevation, you talk about the injury, and then it's back to Tracy again.
Yeah.
Do you call it almost a humbling side of the game because the high intensity, the intensity of the media where they want almost every word you're saying, you've been quoted on everything that's coming out of your lips.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of moment.
It was.
Yeah.
Very, very challenging because like I said, 4 years I was playing with Grant Hill. We only played 47 games together. And the player that I was in Toronto, I was not that player in Orlando. I was a much better player. And I'm playing with Grant Hill? Like, Grant Hill was LeBron before Bron, like Mr. Triple-Double.
Yeah.
This guy was incredible. And that was my teammate. And I thought that was going to elevate me to a whole nother level. So to answer his question, if I would have won a championship, for sure I would have been viewed as, one of the greatest to play this game, for sure, because of how I am viewed without winning that.
I think we appreciate that, and we take it in the same way you've taken it through the years to say, yeah, no ring, but look at everything else. The consistency.
Yeah, and the whole ring culture, everybody wants to win. Everybody can't win, though, but everyone wants to win. There's pecking order. Like, there's a lot that comes into play in winning championships in any sport. And it's not just on a player. It's on the organization. It's on the leadership that trickles down from coaches, right, to GM, to president, to ownership. Like, all of that comes into play to build out a championship team. I never was on a championship team until I freaking hurt my knee. And that part is the toughest part to get over, because we play to win. And when that is taken away from you as a player, it's like, what do you have? You know what I mean? Like, what do you have? And then you got to look back and reflect on your career individually, and that's not how I really wanted to look at it, but that's all I have.
What you have is a lack of time. I know I've got to wrap things up, but just as we're getting into the heart of the matter, I know you brought a very special gift for one of our listeners.
Yes, I did.
Papa, maybe just chuck that so we can put it on camera. People can see this on the YouTube channel.
To one of your listeners,
yeah,
the lucky one, we have this for him. This Toronto, and by the way, this is the best jersey out there. I'll say top 2, and it's not 2. In NBA. Don't know about this color. I'm talking about the purple one, but the Raptors jersey, yes.
Personalized jersey, not just the number, not just the name. It's engraved right at the front. I mean, you can see that at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the real deal.
It's a real deal. Real deal.
So, guys, literally, you got seconds. He's got to go. 011-883-8947, 011-883-8947. Yeah, got a marker. We'll get it signed. Give us a call, guys. Give us a call right now. Once in a lifetime opportunity. I mean, it's signed, guys.
You have a silver one?
No, yeah.
What other color you have?
Okay, well, I'm sure we'll find.
Red?
What is it? Red, blue?
That's the red.
It's not the same as the.
Nah, that silver would be perfect. Yeah, we got to make our rounds. We're gonna get you a silver. We don't want to do you like that.
Nah, but we'll still get it autographed, guys.
Thank you.
It's a jersey that I don't know. I would have to auction a couple of personal things to try and get anywhere close to that. So let's take a quick voice note, and then while we're taking the callers, I see Wendy's there. I don't care. We're not running a competition. This is just from a man with a good heart who says, South Africa, I am happy to be here.
Yes, I am.
And I just want to leave something there with you. 011-883-8947.
Rob, what an absolute legend you have there in the studio. And let me tell you, ever since the announcement was made that T-Mac is coming into the country, I went through my shoe collection because I was fortunate enough a few months ago to be gifted a pair of Adidas T-Mac 3s that were re-released. And I have never worn these shoes. And I just put them in the car and I was like, I'm going to drive around with these until I bump into T-Mac because I need his autograph on these shoes, man. So T-Mac, you and I have a date before you leave these shores to just make sure that you put a tag on these shoes, man. They're going to go straight to my office. So, yeah, wow. But what an absolute pleasure it is to see you and have you in the country. Looking forward to Saturday and the weekend, man. But, yeah, Rob, always a pleasure, man. It's your boy, Juice from Togoza. Now I'm extra happy to have these shoes out here. The autograph won't now just be on the box, but they will be on the shoe itself. So, looking forward to all that. Peace and love. Great show.
Man.
Peace, Juice. I appreciate you, man. Yes, sir.
We got to make it happen because
we have to.
You're going to be around. You're going to be in Pretoria.
I'll
you're
be at the game.
Sunbet,
I'll be at the game.
Arena.
So please come to the game. I will autograph your shoes. I promise you I will if I see you.
All right. We'll make sure that it happens. Let's give away the jersey, guys. Let's go to Centurion. 1D, good evening.
Oh, what's up there, Rob?
Hey,
man,
man.
I'm so excited. You've got one of my favorite players of all time. T-Mac, I love you, man. My first basketball shoe in high school was a T-Mac 2 OG White Royal, man. And I'm so excited, man. So there's two things I want to ask. The first one is more on your playing days. Looking at how the game is today, especially with spacing, taking just prime T-Mac, how do you think you'd be killing it in today's game? And the other thing, just knowing what you know now, looking at all you've done, do you think if you could turn back the time with everything that you know now, you'd stay more in Toronto with Vince and you guys bring one for the city there? Then the last question is about the ones. I think now it's a popular conversation in the streets with the ones, but we all know that you've been pioneering the ones for a little minute now with the OBL. And looking at the traction that it's gotten with, I think the last game was with Vince, Lance Stevenson and Michael Beasley. What do you think the future of ones is? And
nice one.
then,
wow. Okay, one deal, because you're gonna miss an opportunity, man. It's either your questions or the jersey. So you choose right now. He'll answer the question because we're out of time. You would love the jersey, right? Yes. Okay, so I'll leave it to T-Mac to officially hand it over to you. That's 1D.
1D. So he won the jersey?
He won the jersey.
1D, this is yours, brother.
Yeah.
This is yours, 1D. Shout out to 1D. And it's 30 questions.
Yeah, with 10,000 questions, yeah.
So his first question was...
I think just wrap it up. I know the focus then at Raptors, there was Vince Carter, there's also...
I would never question, any of my moves or regret any of my moves of leaving. Obviously, in that times, you look back hindsight, because Grant Hill wasn't healthy, I should have stayed with Vince. We're talking Grant Hill.
I mean, we think of Sprite today, and he was that man.
Right.
Yeah.
So we always forget that. And I can never let people, forget how great Grant Hill was and what I was teaming up with, because they always say, hey, you should have stayed in Toronto with Vince. Bro, do you know who I was going to play with? This is Grant freaking Hill. So I'll stand on that. I miss my cousin, love my cousin, but
yeah. Thank you so much.
Shout out, you got a jersey, bro.
Yeah, well done, 1D. Please don't drop the line. Thank you so much, legend. I'm going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Checkers XXL Savings is back with new deals every week. Save extra on Bacoma Wheat Bix 900 grams or cornflake cereal 1 kg. Any two for 99 Rand. Clover Gouda or cheddar cheese 800 grams. Any for $99.99. Plus, stand to win the weekly XXL Jackpot competition. Simply buy any 3 participating products, swipe your extra savings card, and get a scratch card to enter. Deals valid until Sunday at Checkers.
That V word on your receipts. A big fat 15%. It feels like your Rand's always doing a runner. But there's another V, one adding real value. Until the end of June, Volvo is saving you 15% on selected vehicles, like the XC60 starting from 840,140. With 15% back in your pocket, this V is where it's at. With Volvo, it's safe to be brave. Offer valid until 30 June 2025. Contact your nearest dealer to book a test drive. T's and C's apply.
They say good things come in threes, but great things? That's Spur's Big 3 combo. Get 200 grams of juicy pork ribs, a tender chicken thigh, and 125 grams of Vors, served with golden chips and Spur-style crispy onion rings, all for just $149.90. Only at a Spur near you till 22 June. Spur,
People with a taste for life. T's and C's apply.
That's Harold's Net Florist Hotline. Says we're on the line.
Harold, I asked my dad if he had any good dad jokes. He asked me to look in the mirror.
Ouchie, mama.
And I was just about to make him a macaroni necklace for Father's Day.
Whoa, don't go proving him right.
So what do I do?
Go to Net Florist and send him a customized snack crate or a personalized apron that says mid-tier roaster, top-tier dad. First 1,000 orders get free lint chockies.
Think he'll say sorry?
Dads don't say sorry. They just make you a burry roll and nod. Net Florist. It's easy to show you care.
At Bright, we don't just provide business insurance. We insure your businesses.
Future success.
Because your business is so much more than desks and computers and equipment, which is why we use our specialist expertise to tailor solutions for each client differently to ensure what's really important. So insure your businesses.
Financial security, BT.
With Bright today, contact your broker or go to brightinsure.co.za to find out more. Bright. Approach risk with purpose. Bright is a licensed insurer and authorized FSP.
You work hard for your business. Why work even harder to fund it? At Lula, we've streamlined our funding process by cutting down paperwork and eliminating collateral to give you up to 5 million rand in as little as 24 hours. To us, it's not just about fast funding. It's about offering a business class experience to the people that build South Africa, one transaction at a time. Apply today and experience business class banking and funding at lula.co.za.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Percy Tau is my guest. You come back though, like you should, a more expensive player, because you've earned that in your many journeys internationally. Do you think sometimes people look at that and say, we might not be able to afford him?
I'm very reasonable. And then I've never gotten the first offer in all my contracts. Because I'm reasonable and I try and be in good faith. So I would give an offer.
Yeah, well, what's reasonable for you in the current market? Here's a pen and paper. Do you want to put it down?
And this pen is not working.
The pen is working. About that one, 450,000 rand a month. Do you accept?
4 minutes.
We signed 2 with an option.
Perfect.
So for 450 a month, Percy Tau becomes taken.
Perfect.
Hi guys, I want to go home now.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
Armstrong, he's got Garrett. He takes it! No, not that one, Mr. McGrady.
Welcoming Tracy to the Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Tracy McGrady.
Yes, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Back in February, my wife and I were on our way to the Hall of Fame finalist press conference. She told me to repeat after her and say, I deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. She insisted. This time she said, look in the mirror that was on the elevator wall and repeat after me. I deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. In those split moments that she asked me to state out loud that I deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, I had a zillion thoughts in my mind why I didn't deserve to be it. I started thinking of all these NBA greats who had accomplished so many great things. And then I began comparing myself to them. It's way too easy to focus on what you don't have and what you didn't accomplish. But I'm grateful for those people that saw in me, believed in me, just maybe when I always didn't believe in myself.
Galloping through the lane, McGrady driving past Jones. Through it from the tumble.
I'll take that one anytime. Sure, what a look back in time, guys. What a look back in time. Yeah, it's one of those surreal moments. Number one, when you feel like, you're coming up to somebody's knees. That's how short I felt a second or so ago. Just the legendary T-Mac in studio. We don't say that every day. And when you hear it coming through from his own voice as a Hall of Famer. And one of the things that I'd wanted to talk to him about, which we didn't get around to talking about, is just how currently, when you look at players and you see the earning power that they do have, and it's something completely ridiculous because, and it's fine. I mean, he's had to leave for another event. It's a busy, tight schedule for him. We might have kept him longer than we were supposed to, but I think you could hear the man excited to be here, talking from the heart. And I was trying to crunch a couple of numbers, early on in the day when I was looking back at his career, his life, looking back at clips.
And you're saying, guys, how can you? I mean, this is a guy who, in 1997, I mean, he signed that contract. It was a 3-year contract with the Raptors. So put this into perspective, not in today's world of 2025, 1997, and you were earning within a contract 4.6 million US dollars, right? But even before that contract, even before the draft in 97, he had a 12 million US dollar shoe endorsement deal with Adidas. So what does that even equate to in today's world? Then it was 12 million. And remember, he was a youngster, man. He was 18 years old. And you're signing a contract of 12 million US dollars endorsement. And like he said when he was sitting here, that when he went to the Magic, Orlando Magic, in 2000, he had a 7-year deal. And that's where he articulated to us right here on MSW that was some of his best basketball that he has ever played. And that 7-year contract, as he put pen to paper, was 92.96 million US dollars. The year 2000. 92. I don't know. I think you guys know more than I do, but wow. And it puts the perspective, doesn't it? That you're not dealing with just another ordinary human being. You're dealing with the real deal when it comes to basketball. And for him to come and breathe the same as us, what an honor.
He's got Armstrong. He's got Derechek. He takes it!
One thing I've learned in those 15 years of playing is the power of perseverance, faith, and pushing through even when the odds are against you. Even when they said you wouldn't last 3 years in the league. Even when your work ethic was criticized. And even when you come from nothing and enter into the amazing world of the NBA without a name, without a track record, and without any proof that you deserve a chance. I'm grateful for God for blessing me with amazing gift and talent and entrusting me with it. In addition, I can't leave this stage without thanking the NBA. You have sent me to places around the world I never knew existed. Just a small town kid from Auburndale, Florida, that traveled the world a few times and in my life became richer with everybody I met along the way.
Tracy McGrady, and he looks over at Tyrus Thomas and he said, block that.
Well, just quick news as well coming through. The elected officials and representatives of FIFA, well, they started a 1-year countdown to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. That was yesterday in a ceremony in Miami. So the city is scheduled to host 7 games of the tournament, which will take place in stadiums across North America. Here's the actor and musician, Mark Anthony.
We couldn't be more ready to host you, to welcome you, to show you the love, show you what Miami has to offer, what we as a people, as a community have to offer. And me standing here I'm beside myself because I say this every day. There's no city like Miami on the planet.
Hey, no city like Miami. I don't know where Malibongwe Khoza is, but I know he's somewhere around that part of the world. Malibongwe, good evening. Welcome to #MSW. Hey, Mali, you can hear me loud and clear, hey?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Which part of that part of the world are you at right now?
USA, Florida.
Oh, I heard them talking about Miami here. You heard in that clip. How does it feel for you at this present moment at 18:54 South African time on the 12th of June, 2025, to be in Florida, to be in the United States of America, to be looking forward to playing in your very, very first FIFA Club World Cup?
I'll start by greeting the fellow listeners and The feeling is good. Excited. Looking forward to playing the overseas teams. Different atmosphere. The feeling is good. The team and the spirit is good, especially after the final. We're looking forward to the Club World Cup now.
I know that since you've arrived, it's been a different feel. Maybe just describe for me, outside of football, what are you sensing? Can you sense where you are in Florida that there's a massive tournament that's just about to kick off?
At the moment, it's all calm. Still enjoying the atmosphere, adapting to the weather. It's very hot here, and I think we're doing a very good job preparing for the tournament. Yeah.
And just given how confident Coach Cardoso has been towards you, your contribution, your playing, and I mean, what a season you've had. Whether you're coming off the bench as an impact player, whether you're starting a game, I think South Africa have been fairly well fed with what Umalibongwe Khoza is all about. I mean, how do you feel about your season's achievements?
Really, I wasn't expecting to have a wonderful season, playing this much, but I'm very happy. Even my parents at home, my family from Nelspruit, they are very happy with me and how I'm playing, so I'm making them proud. I'm also happy.
I mean, you moved from, 75,000 fans, whether it's in Cairo, you've moved from finals, you're winning the league. There's so many different things. Now you're rubbing shoulders with some of the world's greatest superstars, some of the world's greatest coaches, some of the world's greatest football players. Do you sometimes pinch yourself?
Yeah, of course. Even the players from the opponents, they compliment me. They tell me that I'm a very good player. I just have to keep my head up and keep continuing what I'm doing, and exchanging shirts and all that.
How far do you think Sundowns will go? Do you believe that you'll make history, bring back the FIFA Club World Cup trophy to SA?
Yes, I believe so. We have to represent the country very well, go to the knockout stages, and leave our mark here. And
I mean, I think all eyes would be on a major game. I think all eyes would be on your game against Borussia Dortmund. Although you do play your first match against Ulsan HD as well as Fluminense as your final game. But what are your feelings? You know, Dortmund's a team that we all know around the world, a very dominant figure within the German Bundesliga.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different feeling, but we have to test ourselves in terms of where we are as a team, test our levels. And I think we are much more prepared to face them. And I think we're going to do very well.
All right. I know that we just wanted to wish you well. We wanted to wish you and the team well. Any final thoughts that you can share with South Africans that are listening to the show right now? Any message, any word from Umalibongwe Khoza?
A message to the fans. We're going to make you proud, and Kabuyelo all the way.
Kabuyelo. Hey, Bali, thank you so much. Mfana really, truly grateful that you picked up on our call. Good to hear your voice, and best of luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, all the way from Florida in the USA, it is FIFA Club World Cup. That is the trend that is going around, guys. Looking forward to it, whichever way it goes. I mean, he can always proudly say, he featured, he was there in a much-changed FIFA Club World Cup. It was also a big day for Trent Alexander-Arnold, revealing that, he's been learning Spanish for a couple of months after speaking the language at Real Madrid at the unveiling. It was a big one today.
Well done on the Spanish, by the way. How long have you been learning?
A few months. No, I don't think it influenced my decision to come here at all, to be honest. I think, you joining a club like this with the teammates that I've now joined, it's going to be quite hard to win a man on door with the amount of superstars we've got in this team. But no, it's exciting. It is the kind of players I want to play with. I've admired them. I've played against them. I know how good they are. So to be a part of the team and to be playing with them rather than against them will be good. I told him that he was a big idol of mine growing up. So to be able to work with him now is a dream come true for me. Someone who, you know, probably impacted my game a lot growing up, seeing him pass a ball. I explained this to him as well, watching him pass a ball, seeing it influenced me to be able to go and train harder at that and have, you know, a great kind of hunger to be able to do that and to set standards. So I was able to speak to him about that. Of course, we haven't formally met yet, haven't been able to have a proper chat, I'm sure, over the next few days, weeks.
All right, Sun sealed and delivered. Will deliver again. Tune in tomorrow for Marawa Sports Worldwide. Proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Play the game again. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW. Live now on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM and Soweto Live. At the same time.